Hey everybody, today I'm going to share my new 2-set custom upgrade for the Gingerbread House. For this build I used 2 sets of 10267. It has 1,477 pieces. It's from the Creator Expert series and launched in October 2019 and retired in December 2021. The original price in US dollars was $99.99. As you can see on the box, the original build had a door on the side of the building and was a dollhouse style design. There is also a light brick in the fireplace and details on the first and second floor. The set also came with some nice side builds. The Christmas tree is one of my favorites of all the Christmas trees that I've built in different Christmas sets. I like the dark green. I think it just really looks, it's something so simple, but the design of this tree is just better than the others. When I make these custom builds, I try to maintain as much of the original set design as possible while improving the set by enclosing the back end, particularly on these sets that had the dollhouse style to them. The difference is that it's completed on the back side, and there's some minor changes. In this case here, the original set had a door over here, like a whole little section that jutted out from the side, but it just seemed a little crazy to have so many doors on the building after the changes I made. So yeah, another thing is, I want it to look differently than just 2 sets just kind of clamshelled together. I didn't want to, in this case of this building, I didn't want to have 2 chimneys. It just seems a little bit of overkill, so I'm not just going to do the same design on the front side as the back side. So as you can see here, the back side is different. We've got these 2 windows over here. I've added this little gingerbread heart design there. We've got a larger window on this side here than on the other side. This is the picnic bench that was from the original set. Just moved over to this side to space things out a little bit better. As you can see on the roof here, the trickiest thing of this building really was getting this roof correct. So everything, the way this is built is basically all borrowed from the original design. It's a lot of just repeating the same thing, and up here, instead of capping off the end of this hinge, I just put a pin in there and pinned it to this side. And then these parts of the roof here still connect the same way that they were designed to in the original set. I just made a few modifications with these tiles because I felt it looked better instead of having just 2 flat tiles and being able to see the brown line in between. Now it's mostly white. I mean, you can still see a dark line there because it's shadows, but when you're looking at it in the right angle, it just, it looks smoother and has a better transition. So that's how I handled that. And yeah, so the roof was the trickiest thing. Yeah, part of what made the roof so tricky is that then to be able to access the inside, because on this build, I didn't do what I've done in the past where I did a clamshell dollhouse style. So on this particular build, I did more of a modular style build, which was difficult to do because of the roof, but I think it was easier than the hinging method would have worked. So as you can see here, you lift off the roof by itself, okay? And I'll show that in a little bit. Show the details of how that works. So now these walls are a little sketchy, but it's basically the way it was designed originally. Everything over here, everything on this half is all the same stuff that was here before. We have the bed and this little lamp. You got the little gingerbread baby in this bed. And here we have this little remnant of a wall, you know, that's all they included in the original set, blocking out this bathroom with a toilet in it. You can see I made a little modification to the toilet there. And, you know, they're gingerbread people. Things work differently. We got a little bathtub. And this wall here is all new. This was remaining pieces from the chimney. I was able to make this wall, and I kind of did it as like a accent wall so that this brown here sort of matched the brown that was from this original wall. And when the roof is on, if you look inside, if you can peek inside, you can see that this opening here the roof comes across this right here, and so this ends up being a little door, which is nice. So it just ends up being a whole separate room. This is sort of a back hall. Had I thought about it a little more, maybe I could have put a stairwell over here in the corner, but there really wasn't that much room downstairs. Maybe a ladder. You know, these people hang out with Santa Claus. He can go up chimneys and stuff. Like, they're living cookie people. Do they really need a staircase? I don't know if anybody can fact check me on this one, but I'm gonna say they don't. And over here we have you know, a little seat made with the same style as the bed. This is something I added, and I added everything on this side over here is all new. So here's a little plant where, you know, in their world they grow donuts and cookies, so that's cool. I'd like to get me one of those. Let's see. So that's everything on the top floor, and then we can take this and remove this like so. Okay. All right, so as you can see on this side over here, we have all of the original pieces. A little chair, the fireplace, which lights up, which is cool. And then you have a little dresser, or not a dresser, like a little cabinet maybe, I guess, with some drawers and some stuff on it there. You've got the gingerbread lady and her little kitchen. And some of the things that were changed were that this window is in a little bit different place. So it's not directly behind the sink, but that's fine. You know, from the outside it looks better like this, so that's a change that I was fine with. And then of course there's the window that's added on this side, which didn't exist before. And I put this little clock on the wall. It's really tiny, but it fits in there nicely. And then I've got the Christmas tree from the set modified with a tinier star and a shorter base so that it can fit in here nicely. And then we've got a little, you know, table thing over there in the corner, another smaller one here next to this chair, and a piece of artwork that the gingerbread people, you know, they're really into matching the theme. So over here, I've got another lamp for them and a small table with drawers there as well. On the roof here, on this side, because of there not being a chimney, I had to change the design of this panel here to match more of the style of this side, so that there was, because it has a cutout on this side where the chimney is here. So that was a pretty easy thing to change. All of these things that I added on were basically following the instruction manual for this side, but with some modifications, right? So I have two windows here. So, you know, I learned how to make, you know, one window while doing the first side, and then I just followed that and worked it into other sides. So I don't have, you know, step-by-step instructions on how to do it, but I'll tell you how I figured it out was, you know, just by learning from the professionals and kind of applying that to the rest of the build, right? So, you know, this floor here, it's basically just the same as the other side, only I've added this wall in. You know, you have to be careful to make sure that it's just the right height, that it doesn't cause a problem for the roof. Here, this can go past the edges because that's where the cross section of the roof goes. So this could be a little bit more square over here, but this side over here, you have to make sure to have a bit of angle to. So, you know, just some tips there on what you can do to make that work. So over here on the roof, I'll show you what I did. So the hinge section for this here, can't really see that well with this light. Let's see. The one change I did make to this hinge area was this 1x3 jumper with 2 studs that I put here. I wish I had it in brown instead of black, but this was all I had. It just made it a little more stable. These hinges and clips and bars right here, these were able to be a little bit more stable because of this design. So you just gotta kind of finagle a little bit. The shape of this might be a hair different from the original one, but some of those things are just for added support, so they could be kind of anything. These 2x2s are just there to give a little extra support. So so yeah, but as you can see under here, it's pretty much the same as it was in the regular instructions, with the addition of some areas where I've added some braces. And what I've done here is the hinges that were attached to the building are still here, but they're for support so that it has something to rest on. So the whole roof rests on these flat areas here, and then these on either side of the roof. And this can hinge. You know, you can finagle with this a little bit, but you know, I try to keep this part as stable as possible so that this middle part doesn't get moved around too much. But it's actually more stable than it looks. So it's kind of nice, but I added a little bit more support to these. I had to lengthen ones. This side over here I had to lengthen more because originally it was shorter to make room for a little side door. So since that was no longer there, I had to add an extra, I don't know, I think it was at least 2 more studs worth of length on this side of the roof to make it so they overhang at the same distance on either side of the main part of the house. So yeah, and then I also made this little section here where it's kind of like the ice and snow kind of is dripped down from the roof, and that's to cover up the hinges, which on the other side you can see like normal, because those are normally hidden by the chimney. And so yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. Let's go ahead and get it back together here. I'll show you how that works. You can just take this and you put it on here like so, and kind of just make sure those studs are snapped in. You know, like any modular, you got to kind of just make sure it's snug. Okay, and you know, just make sure these are all nicely in place, because you know they have a bit of ability to, if you knocked it, this would just come right off. So you got to be a little careful, but you know, this isn't really, I don't know, this set to me isn't really designed for play. I mean, I guess it is, but if you were gonna have it for play, you'd probably leave it in the dollhouse style, and then the way it's designed, these are actually quite sturdy. But in this manner, they're not sturdy until the roof gets on. So you just gotta kind of be careful there, like that. But then the roof just gets set on here like this, and it fits right into place. The place where that roof is and that little wall is inside there, it actually makes it so these, even if they kind of wanted to fall in a little bit, they wouldn't be able to, because they would hit that little wall inside there. So it kind of worked out really perfect with the, that wall inside actually gives a little extra support to this whole situation. Not that it needs it, because it actually, before I even added that, it was really strong. But these are nice and secure like this, and yeah, it looks pretty nice like this. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I've had some, requests for instructions and, more of a step-by-step detailed explanation of things, and it's sort of tricky to do that. So, I'm trying to figure out a way I can kind of streamline that process, creatively. Hopefully in this video, I tried to sort of explain a little more the mode of thinking. I mean, most of this is all from the instructions. It's just modifying that slightly to meet your needs. And I mean, you have to make some choices sometimes. I'm sure I added a few pieces in here from my own collection, but very few. And there's certainly, things you could do a little bit differently to, make things work. They didn't have these textured brown pieces used in the wall. In the first build, they were only used to make this bench. But I thought it was cool to put them as little accent bricks in places. So, I think that's just one of those things you kind of just make it up as you go, and things work out a little better usually. It's worth taking a shot and not being afraid that you're not gonna succeed. Even if it takes a while, you'll probably figure out something that'll work. If you have any more questions about the build, let me know in the comment section, and I'll do my best to help or explain in more detail. Now that the Christmas season is wrapping up and the year is coming to an end, I would like to thank everyone that has stopped by and checked out my channel. Thank you to the subscribers and the regular viewers, and to the people that have interacted in the comments. If this is your first time here and you like the channel, please like and subscribe. There will be more custom builds, city updates, and reviews to come next year. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, everybody.